And we're ready to go. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Ashley. Hey, Nancy. I don't know. I know I recognize your face, but I don't know your name. The one on the Motorola. What is your name?
Suzanne.
Suzanne. Hi, Suzanne. Wasn't sure. I recognize your face, which is a miracle for me at all. And but wasn't sure of your name. Hey, Noreen. Anyway,
Hi.
She's always so happy. So we're going to have some fun today, but before we get actually started in the presentation, I want to ask you all a question. Before you do something, you've just finished something, you're in transition, and before you start the next thing, or if you're going to do something that's important, do you set yourself up first before you go do whatever you're going to do? And if so, give me an example of how you set yourself up for whatever the next thing is that you're going to do. Anybody? I'll give you a quick example.
Well, I prepare. Oh,
Go.
okay. Well, I prepare not only my clothes, what I'm going to look like, what the event's going to be, but if it is something that I have to prepare, like if it's for a test or something like that, I actually like to kind of do my homework before I get there.
Okay. So that was the example I was going to use, Noreen. If I knew I was going to be taking a test in the next few days, what would I do to prepare? I'd study, I'd get some cards together. Maybe on my way, you guys will laugh, but when I was going to college, on my way to any finals or big test, I always sang the song from Sound of Music. I have confidence in sunshine. I have confidence in rain. Anybody know that? With my great voice. And the last line, it was, I have confidence in me. And I'd be like charging up the hill to my test singing that song. That's how I would prepare myself. So anybody else have ways that you prepare yourself? Wish I had a better voice. I would have sang more. I mean, just now I would have sang more. Maybe
I try to visualize just the success of whatever I'm doing. I do a lot of presenting, and I just take a deep breath and do just a little visualization of it mostly being over and that it was a success. So I kind of like do a little future vision meditation.
Do any of you do something when you have company coming to your house? Anybody? Nancy?
Go crazy cleaning, which I'm doing right now.
When we have people come. So all of us have probably certain kinds of rituals that we do before certain things, whether it's going to a test or doing a presentation or having company over, whatever it is. Maybe it's, you're going to prepare a great dinner and you get all the ingredients lined up first. Whatever it is, we prepare. How many of you get up in the morning and before you get out of bed, start literally preparing for your day? Is there anybody that actually, while they're in bed, while they're getting up, if you want, raise your hands if you feel like you actually prepare for your day? Great, because that's what we're going to talk about today. So, Carrie, can you put up the very first slide? And we play with this. Hopefully this is going to be really easy. And there it is, Carrie. It's perfect. So setting up your day for success. So there's 6 practices, and the book that we're taking this out of is called The Miracle Morning, which at the end will show you a picture so you can take a screenshot if you want to get the book. It's really great. There's 6 basic practices that you can do that really can make a difference. And I'm going to say them first before we move on, because there's a great acronym for it. And it's called SAVERS. S like in silence. I was going to say S as in Sam, but then I thought, why don't I do the real words? S as in silence. A as in affirmations. And again, we're going to go through these. So if you don't get them right as I'm saying them, we're going to cover each one. V as in visualize. E as in exercise. R as in, R as in reading. And S like in scribing or journaling, not journeying. So let's go to the next slide, Carrie. Let's see if this works. Yay, win the morning, win the day. So again, if you think about win the morning, if you win your morning, it gives you a greater chance of winning the day. Just like you, Nancy, you'll feel a lot more comfortable having your company arrive because it's important for you to have your house be a special way. Not everybody has to do that. They feel fine with whatever it looks like. But for you, you feel like you've won the time that your friends are together when your house is clean. Does that make sense? So let's go to the first one, which is silence. And so I want to talk a little bit about this. The silence part is actually clearing your mind, starting your day in either prayer or meditation or reflection or deep breathing or gratitude. So, and we could have left that up there a little longer. That's okay. I just wanted to give them a few seconds to really take it on. Let's put it up for one more second. If any of you all want to take a screenshot of this, feel free to. But those are the kinds of choices. So I want to ask a couple questions to all of you. I'm going to just leave it up there about 10 more seconds, Carrie, and then let's get rid of it. So share with us, somebody share with us how you start your day in silence, if any of you do.
Personal prayers and scripture study for me.
Okay, and when you do that, how does that change the day for you?
You know what? I just get such a peaceful feeling and my day goes better. But when I forget to say my prayers in the morning or scripture study, it's almost like everything just kind of malfunctions. So it definitely helps. My husband's over there laughing because he's seen it in action.
The malfunction?
Yes.
All right. I just tried to highlight you, but it's not working for whatever reason. I usually you can highlight more than two people. And tonight, Carrie, I can only highlight the two of us. I don't know why that is. So anybody else, would you be willing to share?
I would.
Okay, go for it. It's Randy.
Okay. One of my favorite things to do before I get out of bed is to come from a place of gratitude. What am I thankful for today? I have different books I can go to that I can read specifically for that. Or even if it's just finding something that I want to post on Facebook that deals with positive, mindset, gratitude. I'm just, I won't lie, in between all that comes all the things that I'm thinking I want to do.
Yeah.
Today was my first day making a list. I did all 12 of them.
All right, good for
But I
you.
normally don't make a list. I normally just, just a place of gratitude. I had a couple days off and today was a real push through day and it was great.
So thank you so much for that. And the idea of this again is it's your silent time. So it's not a time you're going to write. It's not even a time that you read. It's really a time for you just to sit and be with yourself. And the other night I was doing something and I was in a moment of silence and I had my eyes closed and I was thinking, I thought, wow, what if I just stayed like this right now it's the middle of the day? What if I just stayed like this? Could I actually stay with silence for 15 minutes in the middle of the day when my mind had been so racing and my lists were going and, I was looking for a distraction to get out of my silent time, because sometimes in your silent time, some things come up that might be pleasant. Some things that come up might not be pleasant. There are things that you need to work on with yourself. So Kirsten, what were you going to say? And then Beth, and then we're going to go to the next one.
Yeah, I'm a part of a virtual meditation group from all around the country that just meets from 7 o'clock to 7:20. And even though there's a facilitation at the beginning of it, I just find that has been such an incredible way to start my day in silence and, guided meditation. It's been great.
Along with that same kind of thing, Kirsten, as I have insight time, or sometimes I will look for something that I want to do as a guided meditation. And recently, and I don't know if this counts, but I've been doing a lot of tapping lately. And I'm finding that brings huge and peace and kind of a relaxation. It relieves stress of me thinking about the list. I don't know if any of you have done tapping, but it's really been helping me a great deal.
And I would encourage everyone, if you haven't meditated, start with 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. And it's not like your mind will wander, that's normal, but just getting into it. And like Nikki said, the Insight Timer, and there's a couple other apps that can help you guide yourself. And it's super helpful.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Carrie, because so many people tell me I'm not good at meditating or I can't do it. I know very few people that are good at meditating, even the meditators. I mean, I don't know that I can stay on nothing for more than 3 seconds. And I know that Thich Nhat Hanh says, I don't know if I said that right this time, but he says it's like there's 10,000 clouds in the sky. You cannot stop the clouds from coming. So you
Right.
just observe it. There's another thought, there's another something, and get back to whatever it is that you're meditating with. So there's no such thing as an I can't meditate or I'm not good at it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah, so real quickly, I was just gonna say, I do kind of, I realize I'm kind of combining those 7 things in a little way. Like I start with 5 to 10 things I'm grateful for. Sometimes I say why. Right?
But I'm gonna mute everybody out because there's people talking, and if you want to unmute yourself, you can. So, so go on, Beth.
So I write that, and sometimes I'll write like why I'm grateful for those, but then I repeat them back and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And the biggest piece for me is clearing my mind to do my meditation. And I do sometimes, usually a guided, but if I do one that I'm not being guided, I just repeat the word one. I heard that from it's called another meditation book, but nonetheless, that was just a way to kind of get me back into the center.
I do that the same. I have a phrase that I learned from a friend of mine years ago, and it was the light of love is all. So when I find myself really, really wandering, that I just cannot sit still and focus, I just repeat over and over and over again, the light of love is all, the light of love is all, that just over and over again. So Carrie, where do we go from the silence?
Well, there we go. We're going to go into affirmations. And how many people here do affirmations on a daily basis? Okay, so affirmations are really positive statements which you repeat in a way that will help you get your mindset on your success. It's the repetition, but I think for me, so I have my my affirmations. They're not all this book, but I keep them in a little flip book, so it's easier for me to look at them and read them, and then kind of meditate on them for a little bit. So I don't just read them and then go to the next one. I spend a little time so I can visualize a picture of that. And I think I had a coach one time that told me, you know, that writing them down is really important. Instead of having them on your phone, to write them down. And then, you know, if your affirmations, if they're not floating your boat, in other words, like you're just reading them and you're like, this is just nonsense or whatever, or I'm really done with this, then really move on to another affirmation. And I think it's super important that we have really good, positive affirmations. And I don't know how many, Nikki, that you do. I try to keep mine under 10 so that I can focus more upon those. And a lot of them are business directed, but a lot of them are more personal growth directed.
Great.
So
Yeah.
does anybody want to share what they do with their affirmations?
You can unshare the screen, Carrie.
Oh, yeah.
I'll
Mhm.
just remind you.
Stop.
That gives us a chance to see more people. Anybody else want to share how or their info? And we're going to keep it short because I know that I'm noticing already that we're already 15 minutes in a call and we're only on number 2.
Right.
But
Heidi?
go for it, Heidi.
Yeah, I do my affirmations twice a day, usually spend about 20 seconds or so on each one. And they are a variety from some of my goals that I want to hit, family, spiritual, financial, they're kind of across the board. But just like you, Kerry, I really visualize like whatever it is I'm reading that it's already happened.
Right.
And
Right.
I always hear that you not only visualize it and you see it, but you feel it. You evoke the feelings of what
Mhm.
to you. Nancy.
Yeah.
I have problems with affirmations because I feel like I'm lying to myself.
Okay.
If I'm trying to say, oh, I'm, you know, like right now I'm a QSC. It's to say, oh, I'm a sales coordinator. I
Okay.
know I'm not. And so I feel like I'm lying to myself. Or if I know I had issues with certain things when I was growing up, and I try to tell myself that I don't have those issues, I do still have those issues.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm coming from a place where I'm not really sure how to do the affirmation.
So let me ask everybody here, did everybody at any point in time when you started doing affirmations felt like you were sort of lying to yourself and you shouldn't do that affirmation because it simply wasn't true? I know I did. So we've got 3 people's hands up, 4 people's hands up, 5 people's hands up. So that's how a lot of us have felt. But let's just say the affirmation is, I love being a sales coordinator. I'm making this up. I love being a sales coordinator. You're not saying I am one, right? I love being one. Do you think you'll love being a sales coordinator?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that, so what we're trying to do is change the neural pathways. Your subconscious believes whatever your conscious tells you it. So when you're saying I am a sales coordinator, even though your consciousness knows that's not true, your subconscious does not know the difference between truth and not truth.
Mhm.
So it's your subconscious that we're getting to, number one. So even though you consciously may feel like this isn't true, your subconscious doesn't know it's not true.
Mhm.
The deal. So that's number one. But you could say, I love being a sales coordinator. It's the best thing that's happened to me. Or, I see the vision of me walking the stage soon, not with a date maybe, but you can, if that helps you to change the words mildly, I think that's totally okay. And it's also okay to feel like it's not the truth. And you say it over and over again, and all of a sudden it does change the neural pathways. And so does somebody else have something they want to comment on?
Well, I was just gonna say that, and then envisioning the activity, like I have the activity of a sales coordinator,
Ah,
like being able to envision that for a lot of people who get kind of anxious about phone calls, saying something like, I'm more relaxed, I'm more productive. So that you get that in your mind. Like Nikki said, it pretty soon it just takes over and that's what you do.
yeah. And I love that. I'm more relaxed and more, what was the thing you said? I'm more relaxed and more
I am more relaxed, I am more productive.
as I am working towards sales coordinator.
There you go.
So the feeling of getting there is more relaxed and more productive. Okay, so we're gonna go on to the next one. That was affirmations. What's number 3, Carrie?
Okay, so number 3, oops, hold on just a second, is visualizing. So visualizing is super important for me. I visualize throughout my day. So it's really a place where you close your eyes and you think of the outcome that you're desiring for the day. So that could be your phone calls. It's like a mental clear picture of the outcome. So the success of it. So let's say you have a kind of a power call that you need to make to somebody, visualizing that the call has happened, that person is excited, they're ready to jump on board with you. And so you're visualizing the actual outcome. It's kind of like a lot of people get into their gratitude, but to be grateful for what's coming is that same kind of visualization, kind of visualizing what you want created in your life and what you need to do to get there.
Great. Carrie, that was perfect. I don't think we have time to discuss it, but does anybody have any questions? And if you do, just unmute yourself and ask.
And I don't think there's any time limit on visualizing. Like I visualize sometimes 5 minutes and sometimes I'm in there 15 minutes, really setting myself up for success. So it's up to you. Okay.
That's great. Thanks, Carrie. So number 4, and this is a great one to talk about. When you exercise in the morning, it boosts your energy, it enhances your health, it improves self-confidence and emotional well-being. However, you may be looking at these things and going, either I'm a mom with littles, I don't have time to sit and do my affirmations and then visualize and then do silence time, then do affirmations, then visualize, then exercise. And especially when you get to the exercise part and go, oh my God, all this already is taking 2 hours. So here's the deal. If you only have a total of 15 minutes total to devote to these 6 things, that's okay. It's where you start. You can meditate for a minute. It doesn't have to be 5 minutes, but you're setting yourself up for a habit. And I'm going to add one thing in the book that we read that was Atomic Habits, which if you have not read, all of you, and we can pull this one off, Carrie, and stop sharing.
Okay.
If you haven't read Atomic Habits, one of the things he says to do to get in the habit is if you are, hang on one second. if you, let's just say you want to exercise in the morning and you're just not doing it consistently. Number one, you lay out the clothes and the things you need the night before so they're in front of you. The other thing he says to do, which I love this one, he says, and tell yourself you are only allowed to exercise for 2 minutes. Guess what happens? You put the clothes on, you get ready, you exercise for 2 minutes, and it seems ridiculous not to exercise a few more minutes. But here's the deal. He'll say, stop at 2 minutes. You do that 2, 3, 4 days in a row in a morning. Now you're in the habit of putting the clothes on. Now you're in the habit of starting a routine. Now increase the time. That's an added piece to what we're talking about. That's a whole different conversation.
Right.
But I do love the way he says, if you're having trouble doing something, give yourself such a limited time to do it that you don't mind doing what it is for just 2 minutes.
And remember, exercise can be like yoga, it could be stretching, it could be walking down the block and back.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
All of those things. And again, setting yourself up the night before, you might find on YouTube the night before the exercise thing that you're going to follow the next day. Have it ready for yourself. But again, if all you have time to do is each of these for 5 minutes or 1 minute, it's the idea that you've taken this time for yourself to set yourself up for the day. So exercise, the best exercise that works, we all know, is the one that you like the most. That's the one that you're probably going to do. So whether it's walking, jumping jacks, dancing to crazy music, doing yoga, doing Pilates, finding something on YouTube, find what you're willing to do and just start doing it, even if it's just for a few minutes a day. Okay. Number 5, which is probably my favorite, which is reading. And what I do in terms of reading is I usually have 2 books going. One is my fun book, which is the exercise book, and it's going to come up, I'm sure, and there it is. So I have 2 kinds of reading. One, again, reading something that inspires me, teaches me, or whatever. Right now, I am reading really thoroughly the tapping book. Like, I'm really going to do this. I'm going to do it right. But I also love to read. And I'm just finishing up a fiction book that was fabulous. I allow myself to read for as much time as I have in the morning after I've done my other reading that I feel is personal growth or that's going to help me be better, more relaxed, more productive, more whatever I'm looking for in the day. So I always have 2 books going. That's just what I do. Anybody else want to comment on what they do for reading?
I can comment. I don't actually read and turn the pages, but why I kind of mix number 4 and 5 together, I guess, because I work out and I listen to my audiobook at the same time.
Yeah, I think that counts, Heidi. So you're like, that sounds like one of the better multitasking things that we're not supposed to do, but that makes a ton of sense to me. And I know that you do a lot of listening to great podcasts and great books because you're always sharing information. Anybody else? So that's a point, Heidi, I just want to bring that up. If you're not a reader, find a podcast or get onto some program. Like, I'm a member of Audible. So I've got books coming all the time to me that I can listen to in the car and that I can, hear at home. If you're not really a reader that's a slow reader and is not a turn pager, find something that you can listen to that's a podcast or a book or something like that. Beth, somebody else was going to say something.
I was
I
going,
wanted to say, yeah, the Hoopla is another app. It's connected to your library, and you can download books for free for Audible and digital. So if you wanted to read them on your phone or your iPad or something like that, but that's Hoopla, Hoopla.
Okay, I haven't heard of it. So it's just the app called Hoopla.
Yeah, but it's connected to your library. So you have to have a library card, and it's great because
Library card, very cool.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Okay. And the last one, which is number 6, and I gave this to Carrie because I'll be real honest about this. I have started 5,001 journals. So Carrie, can you share with us a little bit about journaling and what helps you stay faithful?
Journaling is one of those things that allows you to get your thoughts down on paper. And sometimes it's a realization of something maybe you want to work on. It could be something you learned the day before. It could be your gratitude journal. And for me, one of the things that I do is I have a prayer journal here where I'm praying for people.
And you
It's my own personal kind of like realization.
Carrie, you
Whoops, sorry.
can- you can stop the share. We'd rather.
Okay. And so you don't have to write a book. Like it could be just a few lines, but being able to, if you're in a gratitude journal, what I'd encourage you to do is to write down what you're grateful for, what's going to come into your life. You know, if you have something with your health, how that's going to look a week from now. And visualize that, to put that down on paper, because we can all list so many things that we're grateful for and thankful for every single day. But to really think about what's out there in our future to be grateful for, it's like envisioning that. So you don't have to write a book, just write a few lines. It's great, but being able to put it down on paper, it does something. I had a friend that I talked to, and they wrote down every single day, I am a QNND, I am a QNND, I am a QNND. And she did it for like a minute or two every single day. I am a QNND. And she just did it to the point where it just started being in her DNA. So it's something that's powerful when it puts it down on paper.
Yeah, here's something, first of all, Carrie, that was a great explanation. And just again, a sentence or two. I want to address the thing about not being true. Nancy, a little bit, one more thing. How many of you ever do negative self-talk? Like, I'm just so stupid. I mean, you do something and then the first thought that comes, I'm really stupid. I cannot believe I did this. I did it again. And the bottom line is, I'm going to guess those of us that do that are not actually stupid people. I'm going to guess that, right? But you've told yourself it so often that your neural pathways actually have bought into that story that you're stupid, or that you're not able to do this, or you can't speak in front of people. And it's only because you've said it to yourself so many times that you bought that story. So, and you're lying when you're saying you're stupid and you're not worthy. I don't think anybody on this earth was made to be not worthy, not good enough. I think, if we take a look at a spiritual point of view, and it can be any spiritual point of view, it doesn't matter, I think, what God you believe in. I think most spiritual views have you being as exactly who you're meant to be. And so we're lying to ourselves when we tell us those things, and yet we believe those stories. So why not lie in a good way and say, we are great, we are kind, we are wonderful, we are sales coordinators? What if you did that so often that you believed that story?
Mm-hmm.
That's just a thought. So I'm going to have you wrap this up for us, Carrie, if you would be.
Okay. So this is the book that started me on this path 7 years ago. I do a miracle morning every single morning. It's changed my life. And it's the Miracle Morning for Network Marketers. So if you've never read it, I'd encourage you to get it. It's super easy read, and I think you'll enjoy it. And then just to finish off, Hal Elrod said this: by simply changing the way you wake up in the morning, you can transform any area of your life faster than you ever thought possible. So I want to thank all of you for joining us.
That was great. That was fun. Carrie, thank you so much for joining me and doing this. I knew you were great. You really are the Miracle Morning gal. Thank you for all being here. And then tomorrow night is our heat celebration, Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. So hopefully you'll be joining us then. And then the following week, we're going to be at conference. So there are no calls the following week. And the last Tuesday of the month is our welcome call for any new distributors that have joined our teams. So everybody have a great week. Good to see everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So good.
Bye.
Thank you
Bye.
for joining.